Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a ton of fun. Like a majority of casual moviegoers, I'd never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before I got to watch the first movie. Unlike those casual moviegoers, however, I didn't get to experience it for myself until a year ago when I watched it on Blu-ray with my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm pretty much late to everything these days. This video is no exception, considering Guardians 2 came out about a month ago, and I just got around to seeing it the day I started scripting this video. I'm old and grumpy and blah. But the first movie really surprised me. I don't think it's one of the best entries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, nor did I think it was as mind-blowing as people made it out to be. But I really liked the characters, the tone was refreshingly different from other Marvel movies, and I could listen to that soundtrack any day. So you can bet that I was totally looking forward to the sequel. Marvel Studios have always delivered on high-quality superhero movies that focus more on the humanity of their leads and less on wowing audiences with big special effects. Not that there's anything wrong with big special effects, but the characters have always been in the forefront, and Guardians 2 is no exception. The movie focuses more on Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, as he's reunited with his father, Ego, played by Kurt Russell. For the rest of the movie, there's a lot more interaction between the characters than there was in the original. We see them reflect on what happened in their pasts, unique aspects of characters like Rocket and Nebula are revealed, and on a level similar to the Avengers films, we get to see the Guardians being themselves. But just like real life, their relationship isn't perfect. They argue, they disagree, they get on each other's nerves, and yet they still can't be without one another. That's what I love most about the Guardians. They're like a real family, and I really liked how much the movie explored those values. I also liked how the scenes with Peter and Ego were done. We see them bonding over 80s music and tossing a ball of energy around, and ultimately it's more heartbreaking when Peter learns the dark truth about his father. By the way, Chris Pratt gives an amazing performance. It's a dance-off! Dance-off, brother! It's a dance-off! Yeah! And of course, it wouldn't be a superhero movie without some great action scenes. You get everything from ships blowing up to Drax slicing his way through a monster's stomach, but it's not just mindless violence and mild cursing. It still has the same amount of personality and charm that the first movie had. There's a scene where Yondu uses his arrow to kill a whole bunch of people at once, and if that alone wasn't awesome enough, the way it's shot makes it both brutal and hilarious at the same time. James Gunn both wrote and directed this movie, and he has a very unique way of shooting a scene. The opening is done in a way that makes it look like it was done in one shot, and it focuses on Baby Groot dancing to Mr. Blue Sky while the rest of the Guardians are fighting off a giant octopus. And there's another scene where Rocket is launching a bunch of Ravagers into the air repeatedly from two different parts of a forest. James Gunn's take on Guardians of the Galaxy is funny, energetic, and gorgeous to look at. Also, he turned Star-Lord into Pac-Man. Seriously, there's a Pac-Man cameo in a Marvel movie. The happiness levels make my pants explode! That was disgusting, I apologize. By now, it sounds like I've been hyping up Guardians 2 as one of the best Marvel movies ever, so is it really that good? Well, yeah, but it's not without its shortcomings. One minor nitpick I have with the movie is that there are parts where the music doesn't completely match the tone of the scene. Not like the 60s or 70s music, I mean like the score, the orchestral score. Like when a character is sneakily trying to steal something, you'll get music that sounds a bit too triumphant. And when one of the villains approaches another character near the beginning of the movie, you'll get music that sounds like the conclusion of a big battle near the end of the movie. This doesn't happen all the time, but parts like those could have benefited from different music choices. Another thing I noticed about the movie is how similar in tone it is to the first one. Not that that's necessarily a problem, since I thought the tone of Guardians 1 was fine, but needless to say, the subtitle Volume 2 seems immensely appropriate in that sense. It's not very different from the original, it really is more of the same. But then again, there wasn't that much to change. If any of the characters acted differently, or if the humor was tweaked in any way, then it wouldn't be Guardians of the Galaxy. Normally, I don't like when sequels are too similar to their predecessors, but this is a case where it actually works in the movie's favor, because you're still getting the same Guardians you already know and love, cracking the same kind of jokes and one-liners you want them to. So, would I recommend you go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Sure. It's not a masterpiece, and it's definitely not up to par with other Marvel movies like Captain America Civil War, but there's plenty of great stuff here that makes it worth checking out. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you hadn't been in it for so long, so long. Gonna need to buy the soundtrack, it's so good.